Hello, everybody, and welcome to BetterQuest, the show about getting better and holding you accountable. All of us accountable for getting better. I'm Ben Hanson, joined by I describe him as a lightly tickled Jeff Cork by that intro. Barely
Mildly
amused.
so.
It was, if I could analyze that smile that you had for the rest of my life, Cork, I'd be happy because it was barely something. But hey, you're here, man, and I'm glad to see you. How are you?
I'm doing very well.
Tell me about it. What's so well over there?
Just loving life, starting to get busy after a nice holiday break, which, for being honest, I kind of got a little stir crazy near the end.
Ooh.
Not really. I wasn't like chasing people around with a croquet mallet or anything, but you know, just like, what am I doing here? I feel like I should be doing something.
What was it? Give me like the nastiest thing you did, man.
Nastiest thing I did?
On the sloth end of the sin spectrum. We'll get into the rest of the sins later, buddy.
I think it was probably like the realization. I'm not going to give you a number.
Yeah.
But I looked down and I realized, I've been wearing this shirt for X number of days.
I mean, north of 4?
I don't want to give you a number.
Okay, that's fine. I had that moment the other day too, of just the entire winter, I'm wearing either my warm pants, which have some tech in them, so they keep me warm, or pajama pants. Those are my two pants, and I just alternate back and forth. Going outside, I wear those, and then inside, I got the other ones. And then every day I wear this PlayStation fleece hoodie. Do you have one of these? I assume you got one as well, right? Back in the day?
I don't think I have one of those, no.
Cork, you've got to get one of these PlayStation fleece hoodies. Really? I go back and analyze every MinnMax video because it's always a little bit cold in this basement. If you analyze it like the Zapruder film, you'll notice that I'm always wearing that same fleece thing because it's just big and warm and soft and cozy. And it is a terrifying realization of, I just don't change clothes.
Yeah. You want to hear something? Speaking of cold basements?
Yeah.
My basement, I tell you what, not warm.
Really?
Will never be confused for like being a sauna, we'll say. Okay?
Yeah.
So I've been complaining about it, saying it's cold. I should get a space heater.
To your children?
To anyone who will listen.
Okay.
And so Tiff the other day was like doing something in a corner of the basement.
Tiff is Jeff Cork's maid, by the way, for people that are confused.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. She's,
well, he cut out, but
a robot maid like Richie Rich has. The basement that we never go to, and there's just a window wide open. And we realized, like, when the people installed, like, we got a new heater, air conditioner a couple years ago, they must have left it open a crack, and then for whatever reason,
that's amazing.
It's ridiculous.
How much money do you think you genuinely lost as a family unit in heating or whatever?
$400,000. I did the math.
Because you bet somebody that you have no windows open in your house right now, and you bet it all.
Yeah, I was wondering, like, why is the side of my neighbor's house just a sheet of ice? It's because it's all the heat is pouring out and melting their snow.
Yeah, it's making a wall that Lara Croft is ice picking her way up at all times.
It was one of those, like, she came out of that area and she's like, hey, come over here for a second. And I walked over. It was just like, oh no.
What have I done? That's embarrassing. My 2 weeks off or whatever, it was really because, like, I went out to my parents for Christmas and stuff, so that eats into the vacation because it doesn't really feel like a vacation at times. You know, it's like it's fun and it's just a lot of playing with the nephews and watching them play Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and stuff and eating a lot of food. But it's like it's not until I'm losing track of days sitting on my own couch that it really feels like that vacation soaking in. And I had a couple of those days. I went through and I read all of Gone Girl because I got Gone Girl as a white elephant gift, and I've seen that movie so many times and I really love it. And so I was like, all right, this seems like a good, somewhat healthy, mentally, debatable, but somewhat healthy thing to do is just like, I'm going to conquer one thing during this break. And I guess it'll be beating Thomas Was Alone finally on Switch and then reading all of Gone Girl, which, by the way, reading fiction, I recommend it, Cork. I don't know if you do it much anymore.
Really?
I haven't done it in years.
It's like a movie, but you can see what people are thinking.
Yes.
Is my understanding.
That's exactly. It really is. As somebody that likes nonfiction, it is weird to go back and read fiction and then have that moment of like, oh, that's right. Empathy. Like I'm feeling so much more going through this. And like that book
is all made up. This person's a liar.
That book is surprisingly faithful, or I should say the movie is faithful to the book because it's like the same screenwriter is the author and all that fun stuff. Mm-hmm. So it kind of just felt like watching the movie in slow motion, but it turns out I love that movie so much that it's perfect. It's like the 24-hour Psycho thing where you're just like slowly going through every scene.
That's great.
And I hope that's what people take away from BetterQuest is please read or watch Gone Girl one more time.
Yeah.
This is our show about getting better. And if you're looking at the YouTube runtime and you say, I don't got time for that. I want to be on the go. I got to run just like that runtime. You might be saying, hypothetically, you could unlock.
But you have time to look at the run link though.
That's true. But hey,
a YouTube video that you're not intending on watching.
You can unlock the podcast version of this episode of BetterQuest by supporting MinnMax at patreon.com/MinnMax with 2 N's, the $5 tier. If you want to help support the show and support MinnMax overall, that'd be a wonderful place. Because Cork, you also get the podcast version of The Deepest Dive. Mm-hmm. We just did Halo Infinite with Wade Wojcik and Suriel Vasquez and MinnMax Counselor, Patreon exclusive podcast, all that fun stuff. But we're not
maximum spoilers with like that goes really well. No problems there.
Oh yeah. Our episode of Max Spoilers on Spider-Man No Way Home got a copyright strike it was from Sony, but it was issued by like some third-party legal company from somewhere in Asia. I forget where. So it was just like this weird feeling of like, we didn't even have a clip. We didn't even run like a trailer or anything during that. So it's, I appreciated people kind of getting indignant on our part. For me, it was just kind of like well, this is dumb. I know we're completely in the right for being able to talk about a movie, I believe, but maybe the discussion was so good and the running time was so long that they just looked at it and it said spoilers and they thought that somebody just uploaded the entire movie or something.
You think maybe scrub through the timeline before doing something that could remove a channel from existence? I don't know.
You would certainly think so. But it's all good now. It's all fine. So you happy to be back to work? Does it feel different? Does it feel good?
Yeah, feels really good. It's kind of that New Year energy where it's like, it's nice because everyone is kind of like doing post-mortem type things about what worked well last year, what didn't, which is really nice. I'm always a big fan of that. And it's been great.
It is nice. Yeah, I've had one of my days in the break, actually multiple days in my break, I guess I was working because I had a big day that was just devoted to like analytics and feedback. And it's so much fun. It was like, all right, the entire day is just organizing these numbers and getting all the data, finding our most popular content, least efficient content, all that kind of stuff. And I'm very excited to surprise it on the other cohorts. Like, look at this. And then point and shame the people who produce the content that isn't good, I guess is the way it goes. No, but I think it's
if it doesn't do numbers, those people should be absolutely humiliated.
I think that's the way it's going to go. Please, nobody look at the view count for BetterQuest. It's all we beg of you.
Yeah.
But hey, we're here, everybody, to talk about BetterQuest and our goals for 2022. A lot of things like that. Cork, let's kick this sucker off. Just jump into your last goal here, if we may be so bold.
Yeah.
Your goal,
I think
if I may read it, your goal was, quote, don't get in your head, you big weirdo, and get weird when being social. Stay engaged and meet people. Okay? And this was kind of in the framework of going to the Game Awards, if you recall.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I did a good job. It was nice to see everyone, like the first day when people were kind of gathering and meeting up, someone in every little group where you kind of interact with, someone would say, I forgot how to talk to people.
Really?
Because I think everyone was kind of like, we've all been working from home for the most part. And so it was like...
And let me guess, by the way, everybody who said that seemed totally fine and didn't need to say that.
Oh, yeah. These are the same people who were also like, I was a nerd in school. Wait for reaction. All right, cool. Yeah.
So everyone was weird. So you didn't feel
everyone was weird, and it was super fun. I went out. I was like, I think I made the choice of like doing stuff and engaging with people when the alternative would have been very easy. Like someone I wanted to spend time with, she was busy, so I was like, oh, okay, what am I going to do instead? And then It's like, oh, I'm going to reach out to this person I haven't talked to in a long time, and we ended up like going to a brew pub, just hanging out. And
name names, dude. Cork's pausing.
Huh? That was Chris Kramer.
Chris Kramer, who's that?
What are you talking about?
Oh,
Kramer used to do, like, way back in the day, used to do PR for Capcom. Super great guy.
Oh, nice.
Works at Tencent now. But went to a brew pub, and like I went over because I'm like not drinking, and I was like, hey, you got like a soda or something? No. You got any non-alcoholic beer? No. The best they could do was they gave me the water they used to brew the beer.
No, really?
Which was slightly sparkly.
Wait a minute.
I don't understand everything about that, but I'm like, all right, you say it's water.
And this is an LA establishment? That sounds like something you'd find in like maybe North Dakota.
Yeah.
For just struggling for just the base services of what people might expect at a restaurant or a pub?
I think it wasn't a restaurant. It was
Sure.
I guess I said brew pub. I really misspoke there. A brewery that you go to drink their beer. Yes.
Explicitly.
Yes. Yeah. Another time I met up with somebody for like a breakfast, and I was kind of like, do I want to leave this hotel or not? And then I realized, that TV doesn't work anyway. So what am I going to be doing? Literally nothing. So met up for like brunch with someone. Dick Aarons, you remember from Game Informer?
I do. I took his job.
Super fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Love him. Great guy. And it was one of those really pleasurable times where it's like you sit down with someone you haven't spoken to in a long time, and you just pick up immediately where you left off, and it's completely natural conversation, no weirdness, and it was great.
How often in your life have you had the opposite of that? Of somebody that you normally are immediately in a groove with, and it's just like, oh, where's our groove? And you feel that panic?
Yeah. I don't know that I could quantify it, but yeah, that is certainly a feeling that is familiar.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury. Yeah, I had that like, a couple years ago. Best friend Ronnie and I went and just like played some tabletop games with some old friends from high school that we hadn't seen since high school. And it was this weird feeling of like, oh, like I grew up with them. This will be great. This will be wonderful. And like it was a good time and a fine time, but it was just weird. And what got me is, believe it or not, like sense of humor stuff, where it's like the person whose house we went to is just like, nothing seems to make her laugh. I have no idea what makes her laugh anymore. And when I can't figure out what makes somebody laugh, I panic. It's just a full meltdown.
You turn it on even more.
Yes, which is not a good way to go. And like, especially a couple drinks.
Hey,
it is very close to that. Just trying to get like something like, please.
Oh, the moon. Woo.
Oh, the moon. I see you've been with me in public before, Joe.
That must have been horrifying to watch.
It wasn't easy. Yeah. But I'm very jealous of you to get to have this big industry event at the Game Awards. So mission accomplished for being social and all that fun stuff?
Yeah, for sure. I think so.
Was there any like big reaction in the room for anything that was different than on TV? Was it also an amazing moment in the room when that lady from Suicide Squad came out and screamed at everybody? It just felt like everyone was confused.
Yeah, there's a lot of like confused reactions. I don't know how things played on stream.
Yeah.
And I'll be very vague here, but there was one announcement that you could tell the mood changed immediately when the team behind the trailer that they had just seen was revealed.
Right.
Just a collective sigh, I think is how I would best describe it.
Yeah, boy. What did you think about that E3 stuff today? Did you see that where our old coworker Mike Futter was talking about the fact that E3 got out there and said, hey, due to Omicron, looks like we won't be having E3 in 2022, everybody, not a physical one at least. And then Mike Futter, our old coworker, said like, I had sources back in November saying that they didn't even like book the venue, that this is just kind of like an excuse because they were not coming back in any capacity.
Yeah.
Not too many thoughts on that one?
No. I tend to agree with what Mike says. Yes.
Right. Do you think we will ever go back to an E3?
I don't know. It sure seems like the not the Game Awards, but Summer Games Fest sure is eager to occupy that space.
Yeah.
And has been doing a pretty good job of it. So,
I mean, maybe just kind of a lot of the enthusiasm for like in-person stuff will shift around naturally to like, I don't know, Gamescom will get bigger. Maybe GDC for like the the more exclusive press and developer type stuff, like that'll just kind of pick up that social vibe of E3. And I don't know, it's not the end of the world if we can't get together with a bunch of IGN reporters every year, right?
Yeah. And I know that it's not about, hey, it's about the games.
It's about
right. It's not about the hot takes and all that stuff, but it is like kind of a, what are we doing here moment when it's like you're reading stuff from someone who just watched the same stream that you did.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like you need to have some degree of access to make the coverage interesting. And if it's literally just check out my review of this new Netflix series, it's like, I don't care. I could just watch it.
Yeah. Did you read, I think we talked a little bit in Slack, right? Like Jeff Gerstmann's review of Halo Infinite, which was interesting because like a fourth of it was just like, what are you doing? It's on Game Pass. You already know if you're going to play this game. What'd you click here for? It's kind of
it's interesting.
Tone. It's just kind of, saying maybe the obvious, but I just love that idea of somebody just putting it on Front Street with a big review like that. It's not like, Giant Bomb's still cranking out all these written reviews, but do you appreciate that? Or is that just kind of like, you don't need to say it?
I guess I don't have any strong opinions on it. I guess it's kind of acknowledging something that I think most people have come to realize over time, right?
Yeah.
That I personally love reading features and interviews and that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. Like, and maybe I might read a review just to either validate something that I've been thinking in a weird way, or like if I'm on the fence about whether or not I should get something. Most of the time I'm fortunate enough to where, well connected. I can just ask a bunch of people who have played something that I know that my tastes align with and say like, hey, what do you think? Is this worth getting? So
that's about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess what we're trying to say is the industry has changed. Hey, you know what hasn't changed?
What?
American Sign Language, Jeff Cork. That was my goal for the month. Hasn't changed for thousands of years, according to Marvel's Eternals, I guess. My goal was to learn the alphabet in sign language and a couple words on top of that. And
it goes a little something like,
well, especially if you're an audio listener, I hope you're prepared because this is going to be a blast. I don't know. Is there any fun way to do it? I think I overall did it, Cork. Do you want to say the letter and I'll try and do it here?
J.
Okay. J is
E.
Okay. E is that.
F.
Well, of course, who could forget that F is this?
Oh, no.
Mm-hmm. So,
I think we're done with this segment.
Sorry. It's for audio listeners, it'd be very confusing. And then another one of those, and then a C, and then an O, and then an R, and then a K. You did it, dude. It was really fun. I really enjoyed learning it. It was
Thank you.
Not that complicated, like compared to katakana. It's interesting because like so many are like, hey, guess what? W is this. V is this. Like a lot of them you can kind of figure out, just by the basics. But then compared to katakana, where it's like there was no real point of reference, it's not like, hey, it'll kind of look like the English letter for some of these, But then there's fun ones if you really want to get geeky, Cork, and I think that's the point.
Let's do it.
Is stuff like N. Trying to remember N was easier because like you put your little thumb in the middle, and like it kind of looks like the N sound from katakana. Like the symbol for that, because that's like the line with the one dot in the middle. So like, it's kind of fun that like the two little things I've learned on BetterQuest, they're fueling each other in this funky way. Also, I had a weird thing going through and learning them where so many of the words and stuff was like, oh yeah, I've learned these before. Like I forgot that like, yeah, I used to sign because we had a deaf kid in our school. And so I guess we had classes about learning sign language. So it was all like this weird thing. I'm like, oh yeah, I've learned these before. Like I've learned all these letters and a lot of these words before. But here's a quiz for you, Jeff Cork. See if you can guess the word based on the sign. Okay. And again, I apologize to audio listeners. All right.
Oh, I love it.
Jeff Cork. Okay. So what is this?
Yeah. It's kissing.
Don't be grotesque. It's more.
More. Okay. To like stretch it.
I don't know if it's stretch. Maybe it's stretch. It could be a stretch thing.
Yeah, but I think stretching has like that weird like fingers undulating.
Okay.
Where it looks like you're making the hands kiss.
Yeah, aggressively. Okay, you got this?
Hungry.
Nope, higher than that.
Higher than love.
Close. It's please.
Oh.
Look, this will get easier. This is my favorite sign that I learned. Okay. Ready? Okay, so I'm holding it.
Okay, for the audio listeners, he's doing the Jim Carrey thing where he's talking out of his butt. He's bent over. Is that idea?
No, learn. Like you're
Okay,
taking
that's the
everything in
same.
the
Yeah,
page.
that's what I was getting at.
Pretty
though.
good.
That's cool.
By the way, tough one to Google. Sign language for learn, because it's all just about learning sign language. Okay, Cork, this one's for you.
Cork?
No, maybe if I did this.
Oh no! Why are you doing this to me? Milk?
Milk! Hey,
Okay.
good job. Let's see. This one, Cork?
Mustache.
Nope. Close.
Man.
Nope.
Mario.
No, it's cat. It's close with the mustache and
cat.
stuff. Man, like father is this, like on the top. And it's funny, like in their description, sometimes they would just say something. I'm like, what are you talking about? They're like, so mother is on the chin. Father is on the forehead where the masculine part of the face is. I'm like, what? What does that mean?
The masculine.
But for some of these YouTube videos, you just kind of got to go along with that. All right, there it is, everybody. American Sign Language. Hey, learn it. It's fun. It doesn't take that long to learn. And it's like, it's weird how much it's coming up in like Disney stuff. Like, we talked about it from Marvel's Eternals and also Hawkeye, and then in Book of Boba Fett. I don't know if you're watching that, but there's a surprising amount of sign language in that as well. I don't know if it's American Sign Language. Do they do like Tusken Raider sign language and a custom thing?
That's a really smart idea.
A custom
I
thing?
wonder. Yeah.
Well, hey, Cork,
Yes,
we
sir.
should talk about a couple things. We could set some goals. These could be larger goals for the future, which
Yes.
I'll put a pin in that we should come back and actually set some goals on this show, all about setting goals. But we should address I wish I knew the sign for elephant. Elephant in the room. I wish I would have gotten that. That would
Wow.
be very impressive. For the audio listeners, I nailed it. Heads up for everybody. This is technically the final episode of BetterQuest. Very sad to say.
What?
However, I'm sorry to break it to you this way live on air.
I was gonna say
Corey.
you find out this way. That's okay.
Cork,
Interesting.
If you would have lost those 10 pounds, man, we would have kept on going. But my God.
I'll cut off both feet.
But at the same time, by and large, we're kind of taking the idea of BetterQuest and absorbing it into the main podcast for the MinnMax Show. So we still are going to keep the BetterQuest Discord channel, which is the sweetest corner of a very sweet Discord channel. So please, that'll still be active. The spreadsheet will still be active as the pinned spreadsheet in there. And if you want to set goals for yourself and report about those goals, all that fun stuff, please, you can write into the MinnMax Show. So we can actually make the MinnMax Show podcast a podcast about games, friends, and getting better and all that stuff. Now, Jeff Cork,
Yes.
a couple things for you. You're the best. Love recording with you. This does not mean we're no longer doing stuff with Jeff Cork. You're welcome on anything and everything. Genuinely, if you asked to be on every episode of our main podcast, just like every week, or like, hey, could I be on again? I would have a tough time saying no, man. I mean, I would aggressively, but I would be pained by it. So this is not the end of the road for Cork. You're still going to be around in a big
definitely
bad way. And it'd be nice to spin something new up in the future.
Yes.
Some new show that we've talked a little bit about here and there. But as for why, it is because of just my production bandwidth is the easiest way to do it. So I will take full guilt for this one, where I feel like BetterQuest, it's like, I've enjoyed it. It's been a good time. The community has been amazing. Their goals have been amazing. The kindness and the idea of everybody motivating each other in the Discord channel or anywhere else has been amazing. And I always just felt like I couldn't give it the run up the mountain that it deserved. Like, I think it takes a lot of production bandwidth is the way I put it, but that's not as simple as like, it's a tough show to edit. It's really not, right? I think it just comes down to like, if I felt like I was doing it right, it'd be a lot more hours every single month of just like communicating what we're doing, updating everybody and everybody else's goals, really pushing and encourage everybody. It takes like a lot of focused messaging that I do not have the mental capacity to do in addition to all the other MinnMax shows. Does that make sense, Cork?
Yeah, that totally makes sense. 100%.
Yeah. And I feel like, after every episode, especially like the in-person ones, it's always like, I feel like we had a couple late nights of like, God, I wish I had enough time to really like give BetterQuest the push it deserved, to really like overproduce the hell out of this thing, really like drive home the messaging, because it always just feels like, oh God, BetterQuest is coming up. Okay, I got the goal set. That's one thing. That's fine. But then, in terms of messaging, okay, what's the group goal this month? What are we doing here? What are we doing here? So yeah, I'm sorry to let everybody down on that front. But I appreciate everybody being open to like, hey, new year, we got to be a little bit flexible here. So thank you for letting us change up some content and keep evolving here at MinnMax. And it's still, the core idea is not going anywhere. I mean, getting better was still a core component of MinnMax before BetterQuest and stuff. So it's just kind of being absorbed even more so into the main show. And
yeah, I think that folding it in some capacity into the main podcast is a really smart idea, and I think it's going to bring it to people in a new way.
Yeah,
and yeah,
I
think it's going to be good.
Oh, good. Yeah, and there's definitely, you know, when I was on a mission from God to just like collect as much feedback as possible at MinnMax, like something that kept coming up again and again was a lot of people saying, like, I like a more casual podcasting tone, and especially like the BetterQuest stuff that we did like in person in the studio. It's like, yeah, that was super fun. And so that kind of more laid back podcasting vibe is definitely a message that I've heard from people that they want, and we're going to do our best to try and address that in the future. So don't think that this is one more kind of kick in the groin if you're passionate about podcasting outside of the MinnMax show, which most of the time it's me just being like, hey everybody, let me talk about the Fixture S1, and then we got to move on and talk about this release. That's my impression of me hosting that podcast. Yeah. But it's been a fun road, Cork. It started back in May 2020. So like coming up on 2 years of this frickin' thing, man.
Yeah, it's been so much fun. I know that I've enjoyed kind of getting to know the community a little better, and hearing some just incredible stories over the years. And
Appalachian Trail number 1, I would have to imagine.
Yeah.
That was mind-boggling. I went back and looked at some of your goals throughout the episodes, Cork. You want me to run down some of these for you?
Oh, no.
Just
this is
for
like
fun.
A public humiliation.
We don't need to comment whether you succeeded on them or not.
All
but,
right.
Here we go. Lose weight. Lost weight. Learn to paint. Long walks. Be more patient. Learn to build in Fortnite. Don't check phone during movies and TV. Improve relationships with parents. Lose 10 pounds. At this point, you'd be like 14 pounds with how many times you put that as a goal. Get comfortable at a new job. Get sleep figured out. Mentor up-and-coming writers. Installing all stuff for virtual pinball. Reconnect with 5 old friends. Memorize and recite the American presidents in order. Still your Hall of Fame moment. That was amazing. Those are just some of them, I believe. For me, learn to meditate. Made my friends take friendship surveys. That was comfortable. Core workouts, limit social media, dance lessons. Cool. Learn katakana, jumping jacks every day, read a newspaper article daily, no cheesy or spicy food. Oh, that was rough. Jump rope, bake bread and cake. Voice lessons. Follow the news in Italy and Tajikistan. Of course, take one recommendation every week and go with it. That type of stuff. So it's been fun. It's been fun to slowly improve. And it's not like the quests are going to stop, Cork. It's like the rest of our life is the greatest, better quest of all, you know, man?
Oh, my Lord.
Don't you think?
Yeah. Yeah.
Starkiller in the chat watching us live. He says, well, now we need Cork on a deepest dive.
Uh-oh.
Would you ever want to do one of those, Cork, or is that too much?
Yeah. You ever pick a good game for once? I don't know. Just being a little stinker.
What would you want to do if you did the deepest dive on something?
Deepest dive. Good grief. Yeah, you're putting me on the spot. Most of I don't know. I don't have like an easy answer.
Okay. Well, I'll give you some time to think about it. Do you think you'd want to do a game, or do you want to do like the New Testament?
The New Testament? Is that what you said?
Yeah, I don't know. That was going to be one of my goals, by the way, was to read the New Testament. And I started over the break.
Yeah.
I didn't make it through Matthew, but I started at least. Are you there?
Yeah.
Okay, Cork's breaking up. Hey, let's take a call. Let's take a call here. We have a caller. We're a little bit behind schedule. Maybe they'll forgive us. Hello, Shazirah.
Oh, hello.
Hello. Welcome to BetterQuest, Shazirah.
Thank you, and Happy New Year.
Oh, Happy New Year to you. Nice to hear your voice. Thank you for calling in on a delightful but different episode of BetterQuest, since it's going to be kind of the end of the road. But I wanted to thank you, Shazirah, for all of your help with the community. You've been doing, what would you call them, BetterQuest call-in check-ins with folks? Did you have a name for that? I forget.
Oh, we had Better Chats. Yeah,
Better
and
Chats.
there's even a role there to get pinged. And I really do hope that people still use that channel and we still get to talk, because it's been great.
Yeah, so the channel's going to stay up and active. Everybody please stay in there, but you're not going to, you at least aren't going to be having the Better Chats and kind of coordinating them on your end at least?
We're not going to do the live ones.
Okay.
I'm going to continue doing, I'm not sure if Cork remembers this, but like last, was it November, I think was the writing goal. And we just sort of had a big discussion in the channel, the text channel, about like, what are your writing tips?
Right.
And a lot of people contributed, and it was quite great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, hey, Shazirah, this is an impossible question, but you seem like the kind of person that likes to be asked impossible questions. What do you think you learned doing all those, the calls with folks, and just kind of like your experience, your perspective on BetterQuest? What have you learned about people, goals, motivation? Give us some wise lessons, please.
Wow. Okay.
Sorry to put you on the spot.
No, I mean, every time I call, you do give me a question that catches me off guard.
Yep, that's the goal.
I think what I've learned is that they're actually quite. Sometimes I think people look at BetterQuest and the goal of getting better as part of the motto, kind of as a secondary thing. And there are a lot of people in our community for whom that is the pull.
Totally. Yeah, I think you're totally right. I mean, we still get messages from people when they join Patreon. It's like, hey, why'd you join up? And it's like, we just got one not too long ago where somebody's like, I don't know, my boyfriend is always watching this and I really didn't care. And then I saw BetterQuest and I was like, this seems fantastic. And I will jump in just because of that. And I didn't have the heart to tell him, like, stick around, you'll like what you see. But it's just like, hey, thank you so much. So you're right. It is like, it's nice that even with the amount of content that we have for MinnMax so far, that's like, there's kind of a segment that's more focused on the deepest dive or more focused on Trivia Tower. And the BetterQuest segment is always kind of the sweetest, smallest corner, I guess.
Yeah. I'm really, really pleased that it's getting folded into the main podcast.
Yeah. Well, hey, did you have a goal for this month or any goals recently that you're proud of?
That I'm proud of. I don't know about that.
Okay.
That I'm efficiently doing, maybe.
Okay.
So I've had this ongoing one, and it's entirely because of BetterQuest, where the goals that I tend to pick tend to be like habit-forming lifestyle goals that you kind of want to do daily. And then I was worried I was going to stop doing them after a couple of months when I moved on to the next thing. So I have an ongoing spreadsheet where I just have all of the past goals that I've had just to keep track to see that I'm still doing them.
Interesting.
And my Chrome browser is kind of my to-do list, so it's always kind of up on one of my monitors, so I can just glance over there. The goal isn't to like knock it out 100% all the time.
Right.
I mean, that's overly stressful when life happens. But like I can check to see if I'm getting most of them most of the time.
Are there any that you can share? Any good ones that you recommend for other people to put on their list?
I mean, there's things as small as like, hey, make sure you drink 3 glasses of water a day.
Wow.
And then there's bigger things that are like, make sure you get at least 2 hours of walking in, which is easy when I have dogs. But
2 hours a day?
Yeah.
You're making it seem like it's very normal, Shazirah. That is an extreme amount of walking.
They have a lot of energy.
I guess so. It's a light sprint. Do you have like a normal route then? It's kind of the daily routine for a 2-hour walk?
Well, it's 2 hours total.
Okay. So 2 walks per day.
Yeah.
That's ambitious. That's the secret, Cork. Do you go on big walks with your dog, Cork?
They are awful on leashes. So no. Yeah, it's frustrating for everyone.
So they're very pent up and sprinting around the house.
No, they run around and Tiff takes them to the dog park and everything like that. But
oh, right on.
They're not just like a walk around the dog neighborhood kind of thing.
You'll lose your mind, yeah. Well, that's nice, Shazirah. Okay, so big walks. That's good. Any other big tips you'd want to share for other folks?
Well, tip-wise, I think breaking things down into manageable steps is 100% what you really ought to do. I'm a little worried because, everybody does the big New Year's thing and they have the big lofty goal.
Right.
And you do have to do that next step of just like breaking it down to something actionable, something that you can kind of track to see if you're actually doing it.
Yeah. And I wonder if I'm sure everybody has a weight goal for 2022, but if that's just as simple as try and lose 1 pound, half a pound a week, something like that, just to try and make it a little bit more bite-sized. I don't know. Look,
yeah,
something like that.
So, and then I want to share my New Year's resolution because I'm quite proud of this.
Yes.
I actually picked, you've seen some of my past goals and they've been very like, I'm going to be a healthier person mentally and physically. And I think this is kind of a mental thing, but I actually picked a gaming resolution.
Ooh, wow. Okay, go for it.
Yeah. So for the last, I would say year, I've kind of been neglecting some of my friend groups that I used to game with a lot. Huh. So I think a couple weeks ago, I was like, hey, Dave, friend of mine, generic Dave. And I was like, hey, I miss you. And I have a lot of friends in Seattle from when I used to live there.
Oh, right on.
And so just possibly why I'm up later than I should be. But like, hey, every Monday, let's commit, let's make time, and let's game.
Wow.
And it's been working out well. And I have another friend group that I miss, and some of these guys I've been like 2004. Like I started gaming really young.
Oh wow,
that's amazing. Is it like?
And so like,
oh, sorry. Is it like MMOs and stuff?
oh, that's where. Yeah, but we do a bunch of stuff now. Muds, actually.
Really?
Yeah, huge mudder.
Wait.
Still mud.
Okay. Walk me through the world of mudding these days.
It's very small.
Okay.
It used to be, Big Muds used to be like hundreds of people at one time, and they've basically reduced down to like 50, 100. A lot of them have shut down. I'm not sure if you ever got into it, but back in the day, a lot of them were just out of people's basements.
So hang on, can you explain for people what a mud is?
It's like a text-based multiplayer. I don't know, you would think of a Zork, but like on somebody's main computer as a server, and everybody else connects in. It's kind of collaborative storytelling in the way that, like, I would say it was probably inspired a lot by D&D and tabletops.
Yeah. And so it's kind of role-playing text adventure type stuff?
Yeah, but the mechanics are hard baked in.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're coded right in for a lot of them.
Huh. Maybe I gotta check this out. Do you think it would work for a New Show Plus option?
I mean, yeah, there are some out there. I'm still an RP admin and a builder on a few of them.
Jesus, that's very impressive.
I was a dork from a very young age.
Hey, that's fine. That's nice. You know, I think it just takes somebody like you to get that like lightning bolt of inspiration to try and rally old friends together for like, this is a committed thing. Every Monday is our game night. And I think people would appreciate it. Who wouldn't love to get that message out of the blue from an old friend of like, hey, let's add something new in your life. Come play games.
Yeah, it's actually going rather well. I mean, we still talk to each other. It's been really hard to actually, I don't know, life happens. We kind of get out of the habit of gaming with each other. So just getting back into it. It's been nice.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, hey, thanks, Shazirah, and thanks for all the hard work supporting BetterQuest. I feel like you and Krista, and there were so many folks in the community that really picked it up and ran with it further than we ever thought anybody would. So thank you for all the hard work.
I mean, thank both of you. There's so many goals that I just incorporated into my life because of BetterQuest. So thank you.
That's very sweet.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Shazirah. Talk to you soon.
Bye.
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 And then we say goodbye.
Hey, for now.
Goodbye for now. Let's see if this next person picks up. Hello, Wawa.
Voice lessons really paid off.
Hey.
Hey, Wawa, how's it going?
Good. Happy New Year, guys.
Hey, Happy New Year. Happy New Year. You had Wawa. You had a goal in December, which struck me as very sweet and wholesome, which was to just spend more time with your nieces and nephews.
Uh-huh.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, and it turns out that December might be the worst month to try to spend time with nieces and nephews because you would think that they would have a lot more time to hang out since they're out of school,
right?
You know? But it turns out their parents want to go on vacation. So, yeah.
They really ruined
So
everything.
they're either like out of town or they're busy, and I also got kind of busy as well. But I did make some small victories with that goal.
Okay, you texted them?
No, they're too young to text.
I see.
But yeah, I didn't text my siblings, but I texted. I hung out with my older nieces and nephews. So I hung out with my oldest niece. I'm fairly close to her though, so I don't count my goal as completed because I see her quite a lot and I talk to her quite a lot.
Sure.
But yeah. So what I did with her was that she wanted to make some handmade gifts for her friends. And so she wanted to borrow my sewing machine, and she's never used a sewing machine before.
Wow.
So she came over to my apartment, and like we hung out and watched some Agretzko. And then at the same time, I showed her how to use my sewing machine, and she was really scared of it because the pedal, it goes really fast.
Yeah, it's terrifying.
Yeah.
It's the worst machine.
But thankfully my sewing machine has like speed setting. So you can set it to the lowest setting and like it just goes one stitch at a time.
Slow motion. That's awesome.
Yeah, but that was really fun, and I got to like spend some time with her. And then during my family Christmas party, I saw like one of my little nephews, And another like small victory was that he's one of the shyer kids in my family. And like he was crying when I showed up to the party, and my mom was like, "Go help your nephew." And he doesn't really like to interact with other people.
Yeah.
So I talked to him, and I actually got him to stop crying. And it turned out why he was crying was that he didn't get to carry the brownie tray when he came into the party.
Oh,
So, yeah.
So silly. That's the Cork. Cork, as somebody who's a master father, first and foremost. I know in your Twitter bio it says father first and foremost. What percentage of the time are kids crying for a reason?
A reason a lot of the time. I would say, like, in my experience, like 70%. The reasons are almost always terrible and inconsequential.
Like brownie tray level?
The brownie pan, I'm like, yeah, that's absolutely something that a child would have a meltdown over. Yeah, 100%.
And the rest of it, what do you think that 30% is? Is just they don't understand why they're crying or what their emotions are? I guess this is like from 4 on or something. You know, like when you're a baby, I assume. I don't know. There's probably no reason.
Oh, maybe when you're 4 on, there's almost always a reason. Yeah.
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 What do you think's making those babies cry so much?
Gas bubble.
Gas bubble.
Ugly dad.
I'd say
Don't
everything.
look no good.
Everything, Wawa?
Everything makes them cry.
That's just what it's like to be a baby. I mean, it is like the most overwhelming thing imaginable. I guess I understand it. Just nothing in the world makes sense. It's really like babies are on a constant acid trip at all times, right?
Yeah.
Just trying to make sense of reality.
Vision isn't good. People always smell in your head.
It's like my worst trips, yeah.
Or being passed from person to person.
Yes.
That's kind of scary too.
Yes. And also just on the subtle end, everybody just constantly saying, hey, look how tall you are now. That is my main memory of being a kid is every time I would see people that I barely knew who they were, they'd be like, my God, look how tall you are. It's like, why is everybody saying this exact same thing over and over and over again? But Wawa, your goal struck a chord with me because, like, you know, I got nephews that are like 7 and 5. And I do have moments every once in a while of like, well, at some point I'm going to be like best buds with them and we're going to hang out all the time. And it's like, I guess now is kind of that time when I have to actually, you know, shoot up the flare and go over there and hang out. And so over break, I went over there and we played Minecraft for a long time. And it was like just the best time. Turns out it's the best game, Cork, and playing it with kids is just mind-boggling. So it's just, I think it's a nice reminder that like, yeah, you know, you actually have to do that now if you want to be the good aunt or uncle.
Yeah, you can't swoop in later when they're old enough to where you would want to hang out with him. And then there's like, who is this guy?
Yeah, hey, look how tall you are. Just backhand you at that point.
You're taller than me.
Help me, please. I need money. Well, that's nice, Wawa. Do you have any goals for 2022?
Oh, yes. So I picked 3 goals to do.
Ooh.
I don't want to call them resolutions because if I do, I won't do them.
Correct. The curse.
So my first goal, I usually do a video game goal every year, is to beat like 12 video games, 1 per month.
Solid.
This time I'm gonna step it up because I actually completed my goal last year. This time I'm gonna beat 12 big video games. I don't know what a big video game is. Maybe it's hours spent. Maybe it's like how popular it is. I don't know. But I will beat 12 big video games, hopefully.
Over the Christmas break.
That's the best adjective to put on a goal.
I love it. I love it. Over a Christmas break, I started playing this game from 2012 that's like a physics platformer that I somehow missed, but I think Vinny on Nextlander mentioned it. But it's a game called Big and Tall. That's a puzzle platformer, so that could fit for your goal, I think. Just trying to, It's a shorter game, but it has big right in the title, so it's a sure bet.
I'll add that in.
Okay, thank you so much for hearing me, Wawa. Well, that's awesome. Well, hey, best of luck with the goal, and thanks for calling into BetterQuest and supporting the show.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm so sad that BetterQuest is going away in a way.
In a way.
Thank you for having me on your last episode.
Absolutely. It's been an honor. Do you have anything you want to say on the last episode of BetterQuest ever? This is your one chance to really leave an imprint of a mark.
I don't know, but bring back more Minn snacks. Come on, give me all the s'mores. I don't care.
Okay, great. Okay, so can do. You got it, Wawa. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye. That's going to be fun. Everybody requesting Minn snacks comes back on the last episode of BetterQuest. Yeah. This was all well and good and cute, but okay, really, get with the Mint Snacks, buddy.
Yeah, better snacks.
Oh, better snacks, big snacks. Hello, Bob Buell.
Good evening, Mr. Hanson, Mr. Cork.
It'll be frickin' the year 2100, Bob, before that stops being funny as an introduction. Always the slight beat, and then when it kicks in.
It's the pause. It's the pause that makes it.
I need to get an app so I can use that every time I make a call and someone just picks up the phone. Bob, thank you for calling in, buddy.
Oh, anytime. It's an absolute pleasure.
Yeah. How did we handle the announcement that we're winding down the show? Was that done with grace? Was it explained enough? Do you have any lingering questions? Are you angry? Are you furious? What are you feeling?
Yeah, just anger, fury, blind rage in a lot of ways.
I get it. Throwing vases around the room.
Yeah, mostly.
Yeah, I get it.
It was weird that you private messaged me and said the fact that you're shutting down the show is directly linked with the fact I didn't finish that Metal Gear Solid 2 documentary video. So
I didn't want to call you out on Front Street here, Bob, but we've been talking about it a lot behind the scenes.
It's fair though.
I don't know.
More than fair.
I don't know what the point of this show is. If
we
can't encourage
kind of turned it into Bummer Quest.
Hey, Bob. Thank you for your support of the show, Bob. First of all.
Oh.
Second of all, Windjammers 2. Is that game going to be good or what?
It's gonna be so good, dude.
Is it? All right. I don't want to tip my hand, but there might be some codes flying around. It's that weird thing if I ask the cohorts, like, does anybody want to play Windjammers 2? And it was radio silence.
Wow.
But I'll try. I'll try, Bob. I'll try for you. I swear. They just released like a documentary about Windjammers or something, right? Did you watch that?
I didn't have a chance to watch the whole thing yet. I shared it in the Discord as I saw it, as I was like hopping around the room gasping, but I have not seen the whole thing yet.
Okay. Does it seem good so far?
It looks so good. They had a open beta, alpha?
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
Playable something a couple of months ago with netcode and all that, and it is so much fun. I'm really, really psyched for it.
That sounds fantastic.
You're going open world with this thing?
Mm-hmm. It's going to be a big game.
It's kind of like Halo Infinity, but if Master Chief had a Frisbee in a lot of ways.
Bob, did you have a goal for 2022?
Do I?
For the entire year, dude. Because I guess you kind of had one for, what was that, 2020 or 2021? You had a weight loss goal that lasted a year, didn't you?
I did.
Okay.
Didn't go well.
Well, everyone knows it's impossible. It's just a big ruse. But yeah, what's your goal for 2022?
Well, for 2022, to truly throw a curveball on my weight loss goal previously, to expand my palate and or horizons, I'm going to try a new either style of food or a brand new restaurant once a month.
Love it.
For the whole year.
That sounds great.
That's perfect.
That really seems great. And you get a free appetizer of Omicron in your first restaurant you visit. So I hope you enjoy that. Have a good time touring restaurants right now.
Yum, yum. Yeah.
You should get extra credit, Bob, if every time you go to a restaurant, you tell them it's your birthday and see who gives the best birthday cake or like birthday prize.
Birthday prize. I love this.
Could you do that? Could you do it with a straight face, Bob? Is to lie to a waiter and insist that it's your birthday.
Sir, you've been here every day this week.
It seems tough.
I'm quintuplets.
For the last time.
How many times do I have to explain this?
All right, so what type of food is at the top of the heap? Give me some good things that you've never hit up. Like Ethiopian, what are we talking?
Ethiopian is actually on my list.
Hell yeah.
Because it is directly across the street from my favorite Thai place. So I only think of it when I'm eating Thai food, and I go, I should have that. But then I'm already eating something delicious, and I never end up getting it.
Yeah, that's tough.
So Ethiopian is on the list. There's a Ukrainian restaurant that I really would like to try.
Ooh. What do you think that is, Cork? Ukrainian food. What do you?
I bet you're going to eat some beets and potatoes.
Ooh. Okay. Borscht is Ukrainian. Yeah. Chicken Kiev. Okay. Yeah, it seems like we're in the right ballpark here. Pasca, Holobutsi.
You gotta get the Pasca.
I think that was a hit song. Was that a joke? Did that count as a joke for anybody? It's supposed to be a Hollaback Girl reference, but I don't think it worked on any level. Okay, so Ukrainian, that's good. That's good.
Actually, next week I am going to a Korean corn dog stand.
That's some hipster crap, isn't it?
I don't know.
It's new though.
I don't. What was it?
He said
it's new.
It's new. You need to report back, Bob. I need somebody who's Korean working there north of 45 years old for that to feel legit in any way in my mind.
I will accost them for their age as soon as I get there.
Yeah, you're really setting them up for.
Yeah, well, Cork's cutting out, but you get the idea.
A really terrible scenario.
And then you need to tell that food truck that it's your birthday.
If they don't put a candle in a corn dog, I swear.
That honestly seems really fun. That seems like a good goal. I'm surprised that I haven't heard that one yet. I don't think in the years of doing BetterQuest. So congratulations.
Oh, well, thank you. And here, I'll send this shout out to the community too. If anyone has places or styles of food that they would recommend, or hopefully in the New Jersey area, please send them to me on the Discord. I would love suggestions because I have like 5 written down, but then like the whole rest of the year, I'm like, oh.
Well, here, I'm helping you out, Bob. I just Googled least popular food ethnicities. It's bringing me to some weird websites.
Yeah, dark web for sure.
Honestly, it's like, this forum sucks. They literally are saying Chinese food, Mexican food. Like, what is wrong with you morons?
Oh.
All right. Look, it turns out there's no good answer for the least popular. So good luck in your adventures and keep us updated, man. Ooh, take pictures and post it in the Discord, please.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, I'll do that.
Right.
It starts next week, so I will try this out and take photographs.
Thank you, Bob. Any wise words before we send you off on your merry way?
Wise words, eh? I don't know. Do you two keep doing stuff? Keep talking. You're entertaining to listen to.
Hey, that's very sweet to hear. Thank you, Bob. Thanks for supporting the show in a big way.
Anytime.
Bye.
Bye.
It's just starting to hang up on him. That's so dumb. Oh, all right. I'm a little bit late with this call, but hopefully, hello, Tom.
Hello,
then Tom was like. More specifically, welcome to the show, then Tom was like.
I feel welcome.
You are welcome. Thank you. Very special episode. You, in the month of December, sir, you studied French on Duolingo.
I did.
Congratulations. How'd that go?
I did it a lot. I did it every day. I did it for today is the 141st day in a row.
Really?
Whoa.
Yep.
That's super impressive.
I'm sorry, I missed that. What'd you say?
I said you're super impressive.
Oh, thanks.
Women want to be with you. Men want to be you. You get the idea, Tom.
Oh, that's great.
What was it like? Do you feel competent with French now?
A little bit. I took a year in high school, and I feel like I got everything back and then some. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's nice. Duolingo, I don't know if they get enough credit. They're a pretty cool company. Like, they're really, in terms of like little companies or, Silicon Valley companies that are actually changing the world in a positive way. Like, Duolingo's really putting in the hours there. Like, one time I went to, it was at GDC. They had a presentation about Duolingo. And I wish I could remember the exact stats, but it was something like when they added the idea of like daily streak, and I haven't used the app for a while, Tom, but it is that clear that like it really rewards you for a daily streak.
Yeah.
Okay. Like when they added,
that's why I did this.
Yeah. When they added like icons, like stars in conjunction to really like highlighting your daily streak, usage of the app went up like 5,000% or something just bananas, like something that just seems artificial, but it's like, oh no, if you break your streak, then you lose this star that just compelled everybody to keep learning a language every day. It really stuck with me.
that makes complete sense to me.
Yeah.
It's very rewarding to see things explode, and Michael Bay still makes movies for a reason.
That's right. That's right. None of those French films, tell you that much right now. Are you gonna like celebrate when you are fully fluent, going to France or anything like that?
Can I?
I don't know. Maybe you could. Here's what you should do, honestly. We don't need an address, but like, where do you live? Ballparking.
Seattle. So
okay.
I can pop up to Vancouver, and maybe I'll just speak at people and see if they know.
That'd be fine. I was honestly gonna say, like, I think Montreal, Cork. If people are looking for a cheap European vacation, Montreal, it really feels like you're in 50% Europe, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And it's just Frenchapalooza up there. It's the place for you, Tom.
Maybe I'll have to check it out. That's a distant flight.
Yeah, I guess it's a little bit tricky from the Seattle place. Well, that's cool. Congratulations
that
on that.
Sounds like a Tom problem.
That's right. Congratulations on learning French, though, man. You gonna keep it rolling then?
Yeah. I got it from a 90-day free trial from T-Mobile, and then I couldn't put it down, so I bought a year of the ad-free version. So I'm just gonna keep going.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. But that's not my goal for this month. That's I'm just gonna keep doing it.
Okay.
My goal is I had a goal somewhere.
Unlearn French.
Yes.
That's fine if you don't remember it. You don't remember it after the show.
No, I don't.
That's fine. Just post in the Discord, post on the
spreadsheet. It was to make appointments to like do adulting things, because I procrastinate a lot.
What does that mean? Like I don't know.
Like
I've
had a chip in my windshield in my car for like 6 months.
Yeah.
And I already reported it to my insurance, but I've never had it fixed, even though it would be free. Stuff like that.
I get it. I totally get it. Well, hey, good luck becoming an adult in 2022.
Oh, thanks.
All right. Thanks for supporting the show there, Tom was like.
Bye.
Bye. And it went a little something like that. All right. Last caller. Boy, we've kept him lingering. I feel bad. Hopefully they're still around. If they're not, hello, Crab Palace.
Hey guys, it's me, Crab Palace.
Welcome, Crab Palace. If you don't recall, Crab Palace was the maestro who composed the fantastic MinnMax rap. Thank you for being here, Crab Palace. I'm sorry for taking forever to get to you.
Oh, that's fine. You know I'm always excited to be here with the Questy boys.
That's right. Long live the Questy boys. We're always here for you, Crab Palace. What's your life been like, Crab Palace? Walk us through things. What's going on over there?
What's my life been like? I don't know. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say.
Did you what was it with the stand-up comedy? Did you end up doing that?
Look, no, but that's one of my goals for 2022. So
all right,
that'll happen.
Yeah, that'll be good. At some point, get on a stage is kind of the broad one.
Yeah, I should have done that by now, but I just didn't really. The thing was, I was never that confident in any of my material, and to go on stage with like the idea that I am gonna bomb. I feel like I need to be in a really good place mentally to do that.
Yeah, it is tough. I cannot imagine that entire feeling. Like I was just listening to a podcast with a stand-up comedian. They were talking about like, oh, the rush of stand-up and how it's so nice to have that outlet at all times. And it's like, I think it's got to be similar to just like a podcasting rush of just like, I don't know, getting your ideas out there. It doesn't really cost a lot, and then you get instant feedback from people. And it's like, yeah, but unless the episode really sucks, like you're not just getting booed. Like I might be disappointed in an episode of the podcast that we produce, but I don't feel like, oh my God, I bombed. It's rare. Yeah. But the idea of like that being connected with stand-up, it just feels like there's better ways in this modern age to get those thrills without getting the soul-crushing reaction.
I think if you could like teleport away so you didn't have to like bomb and then walk off the stage and then sit at a table or go to your car and you can't find to unlock it, and people are seeing you.
Yes, you become mortal. But that's we're not trying to discourage you, Crab Palace. We think it's a great idea. And
teleport.
Yeah, if you can learn to teleport, then you should absolutely do it. But hey, Crab Palace, you got a job recently, I hear.
Oh, thank you very much. I wasn't expecting you to talk about that.
Yeah, you're learning. You're doing some code and stuff.
Yeah. So it's I got a job as a software engineer at this place called Last FM. They're like a music discovery service.
Oh, that's cool. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And you had to code during your interview?
Yeah, it was terrifying. So it wasn't just coding, really. It was like they were sharing their screen of some code that had bugs in it, and I had to talk him through how I'd fix all these different bugs.
It's really just like they are just showing you the matrix code and saying what doesn't add up here.
Yeah. Speaking of things that didn't add up, the new Matrix movie.
Hey, how dare you? We're not turning this into a review of Matrix Resurrections.
I'm
glad you laughed at that.
Actually.
I'd have to teleport away.
I enjoyed that movie, but I understand it's not for everybody. But here's the thing, Cork. I saw, in Slack, you're coming at it hard, saying it was the most light spoilers for Matrix Resurrections. Everybody, light spoilers for Matrix Resurrections, very light. But you were saying like it's the most self-indulgent movie of all time, or something like that. Because like they're literally showing clips of the previous movies, but it's like that is beyond. It's not just accidentally self-indulgent. Like that
wasn't my criticism though. It is boring.
Well, sure. Like the last 2/3, I will give it to you. Right? Is that really?
There was not a fight scene that I can remember, aside from just telling you like they punched each other. Like, I mean, there's not a wow moment throughout it. So I don't know.
I think some of Neo's moves are interesting. Like his good default move that he uses in this one, which is kind of the defensive, like wow. Like
people like what they like. I don't.
Hey man,
begrudge anyone for enjoying that. You know, I just didn't like it.
Crab Palace, will you get off our backs about Matrix Resurrections, man?
I will not. It's a bad movie, and that's why I'm here tonight.
That's fine. What do you want to talk about? You want to talk about coding, or what do you want to talk about, Crab Palace? The floor is yours.
Oh, I'd like to talk about. So you played MinnRaps, the rap song I made about MinnMax on the show.
Right.
Which was so kind. I really appreciated it. And you also played that song I made about poop in a toilet, if you recall.
I do recall. Unforgettable.
And it was such a joy to watch that and watch, you guys laugh. Well, Cork kind of laughed at it.
Get used to that, yeah.
But also, I thought I'd let you know about this weird experience I had where I was checking my SoundCloud stats, which I don't do very often because I don't get that many SoundCloud plays, but sometimes I just sort of go on autopilot and do it. And it tells you like the account that's listened to your music the most that week.
Yeah.
And I looked at that and it was Jacob Geller.
That's amazing.
It was like one play, but like that was still such a weird thing to see.
That's really funny. He's your biggest fan, man. He's gonna make one of his classic essays on YouTube just about the MinnRap. The part that makes me laugh, that really stands out to me still about that rap, is, I mean, I don't want to make you spit some rhymes on the spot, but it was something about you mentioned Ronnie eating sand. And then at some point you just said games, friends, eating sand.
yeah, that's right.
It's really beautiful, beautiful work, Crab Palace.
I can't even remember what that sand eating story was, but it stuck with me for some reason.
Yeah, I forget if we even fully told it on air, but we were just we had a party at my place, and there used to be like a playground across the street in like this big park, and we all just went over there at like 2 a.m. And Dan Riker was there, and a bunch of folks were there, and we had some beers. And then at some point, Ronnie was just like in the sand, and my friend Jesse just started shoveling sand into his mouth. And because Ronnie is grade A sport when it comes to a larger laugh, he just like did the Ronnie move, just like more. It's just like insisting that you keep shoving sand, that type of thing. Well, hey, Crab Palace, thank you for supporting BetterQuest, and thanks for calling in so many times, man.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me, and please bring back MinnSnacks.
All right, cool. Thanks, Crab Palace. Bye.
Goodbye.
God, how come everyone's so much funnier than we are, Corey?
I'm so paranoid about my microphone right now. I'm going to blame you because I am on conference calls all day long and no one ever says I can't understand you.
I think they're being kind. No, my connection is ridiculous. It's 600 down, 500 up. So
that's not true.
It is absolutely true.
No, it's not.
All right, that's fair. No, keep talking. It's only cut out a couple times, and it hasn't been that bad. It's just like, and the nice thing with compared to Discord, you're on Zoom right now technically, and like it always catches you back up. So it's just like a weird pause, but then we eventually hear what you were saying. But the point is, as you cut out.
Okay.
It's the worst timing.
Did I really?
You did. Anyways, more people in the community.
Best timing.
Have more goals. So thank you to everybody who are continuing to set goals in the Discord over there. Cons is finishing his draft of a pilot. He wants to sign with a theatrical agency. Johnny is learning to skip rope. Stay to it, Johnny. Diono is going to set up an LLC for a used bookstore. Congratulations. That sounds fun. Jesse L is going to do an Apple Fitness Plus workout 5 times a day. 5 days a week, I should say. Doyle is going to learn HTML and CS5. Michael Moran, Nail, as we know, he's going to climb a 5.12B outside. 512B. How do you say that, climbers? David Arlene is going to try and lose 10 pounds by the end of the month. And then also save up for a new car. A bunch of wonderful goals from the community. So congratulations to everybody who has hit their goals throughout the run of the show and who are continuing to hit their goals in the future. Jeff Cork, do you have goals for 2022 in general?
I do, actually.
Really?
There's kind of 2 things, actually. Yeah. One of them is not interesting, and it's the thing, actually. I think in our very first episode, I said, this is not what I wanted our goals to be. So my goal is, this year, I watched a video on YouTube where someone brought home a lobster in, like, the meat counter that was like a live lobster and just adopted it as a pet. And it made me think, I was just watching, I was like, I love the taste of meat, but I'm like, this just made me feel really weird because I love animals, but I'm just like, I love the way they taste as well. So this year I'm going to try to like just not eat meat. And it's
all right.
Yeah. It's not big. Like the days before the time, like we got like a big prime rib for Christmas dinner. Like, I love meat. I enjoy the way it tastes and everything. But like I said, I'm just like, you know what? I've got the ability to kind of ease off a little bit, and I'm going to try it for a year. Okay. I remember Tim did something very similar.
Yeah, Tim Turry, friend of the show. I feel like there's a lot of wiggle room here. What are you saying? Are you saying no meat, easing off of meat? What does that mean?
I'm not eating meat. I'll have some fish occasionally.
So pesca pitchapelian.
Yeah. Presbyterian, I think is what it's called. Yeah.
Okay. Hey, for the entire year, no meat.
Yeah.
Hey, Cork.
There you go.
That sounds like a good one. We have to check back in to see how you're doing.
I don't begrudge anyone. You want to eat some meat, go crazy. I'm all for it. I understand it, but I'm just like, it's just not for me for a little while. My broader goal kind of ties into everything, and I think it kind of neatly buttons up the BetterQuest experience for me, at least. Is just I just want to challenge myself more. So I'm just kind of like not doing stuff that's easy. You know what I mean? Like one of the things is like, for instance, I want to have better communication with my wife because I think like we kind of, I don't want to say we're like in a rut or anything, but it's just like, there are just things that we're not good at talking about. I'm like, why is that? I know her probably better than I know anybody. So yeah, just talk through everything. Something like that.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That seems like a nice positive one. I like it, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like we talked a little bit about the meat thing last month on the episode, or maybe it was 2 months ago or something like that, but it's nice. I think there's a noble effort. I think it's going to be, we talked about it last month, but I do think like by the time I'm 50, it'll be like a very pressing. I'd be surprised if I was eating meat at 50.
Yeah.
I feel like society is careening fast towards the, what are you, an idiot? Of course we shouldn't be doing this. End of the spectrum. But yeah, let's see. This is so light and stupid, but I got like a grip strengthener, Cork.
Yeah.
And I just got it for Christmas, and I've been like using it just for podcasting this 1 week. Now that we're just back for 1 week, and I really like it. So I want to keep using this all year. And then next time I see you in person, I'm going to shatter your fucking hand.
Oh my Lord. You know what you should do?
Yeah.
There was like an old pro wrestler who would crush apples with his hand.
Right.
So see if you can like get your hand strong enough to do that.
That's insane.
So Baron von Reischke, I think was his name. That was like his move was like the claw. He would do that to someone's forehead and immediately they collapse to their knees because it hurts. So if you could crush an apple though, that would be amazing.
Do you think if I just did this, I mean, for hours a day while podcasting, I could eventually crush an apple on air?
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, yeah. Don't be dumb. All right.
Yeah.
That seems solid. Yeah, I don't know. I feel bad for not having like a larger, more focused goal. I'd like to get better about just not just being so glued to feedback. And I know that seems weird to say on a MinnMax video. Because like, oh no, I like reading comments and getting feedback. And obviously we want to listen to what the community is saying by and large. But like, it's been bad the last couple of weeks, not in terms of community feedback, but in terms of just like my weird neediness, like doing like just weird stuff of like searching. Has anybody mentioned the word MinnMax on Ryser over the last week? Has anybody mentioned the word MinnMax on Reddit anywhere? Like, oh, page 2 of some Giant Bomb forum, somebody mentioned us once. And it's like that level of thing of just like, you know, we've talked about it a million times, but what are you looking for here? What's
exactly?
like,
yeah.
What am I going to see? This epiphany of like, oh, that's who we are. That's who I am. That's how we succeed. I see. That's how we're bulletproof moving into the future. It's just like there's no silver bullet, no pun intended, of feedback that I still feel like I'm constantly searching for. So I'm going to try and get better about that. But yeah, this year is going to be a big one for me. It's like, okay, get married, trying to plan our honeymoon currently. Do you have any honeymoon advice, Cork?
Are you taking a break between like the wedding and honeymoon, or you're just going right into it?
Right into it.
Why?
She wants to, and that seems fine to me.
Yeah.
I don't know. Would you recommend a break?
Yeah, I would recommend, like what we did is we just had like a mini honeymoon where we went to like this cute little Midwestern town and stayed in bed and breakfast and just had some time to ourselves.
Yeah.
And then we went on like a big trip later, like a few months later, when it's just like, because if you bail immediately afterwards, it's like the house is a mess because you had all the stuff, all the presents you opened, and just, I don't know.
Yeah.
Just a lot.
I feel like there's probably a lot of couples though that are saying, okay, we'll go on a big honeymoon eventually, and then they just never get around to it.
Oh no, you just got to prioritize that. It's super important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we'll lock it in right after. I think we'll safely ignore your advice if that's okay.
All right. It sounds terrible, but
yeah.
Yeah.
Mike,
I'm gonna go.
Where'd you go then?
On the actual honeymoon?
Yeah.
I think that we went to Japan. Yeah.
That seems good. Just the two of you?
Mm-hmm.
Ideal honeymoon as far as I know.
Yeah, my parents.
It's always with the punchlines.
Parents were busy, which whatever.
Well, hey. Mike Metrosek watching us live says, "Go to the Dirty Dells." I would love to. I'd love nothing more than to go to the Dirty Dells. It's not going to be, I need to be in a post-COVID world, I think, before I'm excited about going to the Dells again, because I think that's going to be probably a tough summer again for the Dells over there. So maybe in the future. But again, Cork, I feel like we're repeating it, but thank you to everybody who has supported the show, literally, over on Patreon, allowed us to exist. Supported the show by jumping in the Discord, jumping in the BetterQuest channel on Discord. Thanks to the community. Thanks to Adrian T, who made that entire spreadsheet. Thanks to Krista, who's done a lot of great work with BetterQuest and the community there, setting good community goals, all that fun stuff. Of course, thank you to you, Cork.
Oh, and to you, Hanson.
Oh, that's very sweet. And thank you to the guests that we've had on the show, too. I mean, we had there's a period there where it's like, maybe if we get guests from the industry, that'll be more interesting. So we had Mary Kish on that episode. That was fun. But then people who've just called in a lot, like Dave Clapp called in a lot. Grant, Ronnie, it's a weird tone. Janet was on a lot. Sarah Pazorski was on at least once, talking about keyboards and stuff. So thank to all the guests, all that fun stuff. And keep it rolling. Just because the show is moving, transitioning, being absorbed, stopping in one form, revolving into another, doesn't mean you need to stop setting goals for yourself. It's nice because I have so many goals on in a Google Doc of ideas for future BetterQuest goals. And it is nice that it's I feel like I've just accidentally started doing some of these things because I've just set them out as like, oh, this could be a goal in the future. But it's like, you don't need to make it a goal in the future. Just
100%. Like I've never been especially goal oriented, and I certainly have changed my mindset since this. I'm just like, hey, this is a thing I don't like about myself or that I'd like to get better at, and I can do that. I don't have to just gripe about why is it this way.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Well, hey, thank you so much for watching, everybody. We appreciate it. And Cork, it's time for the last time, man, to give that classic BetterQuest sign off.
Oh, MinnMax get BetterQuest.
Hi, everybody.